All right. We got our cards here at the Catholic Talk Show. Topps issued limited edition Pope Leo XIV cards, the best-selling Topps card of all time. And we're going to see if we can get one of the rare limited edition Pope Leo XIV super refractors. All right, Thaddeus, thanks for joining. This is going to be a fun episode.
Super excited, man.
I've been waiting for this, right?
Yeah.
I've been waiting for it. So like the day of the election of Pope Leo XIV, Topps of baseball card, trading card fame, announced that they were putting out a limited edition Pope Leo XIV card commemorating his inauguration and elevation to the chair of St. Peter. This card has went on to become the top selling Topps Now card of all time, passing like Victor Wembanyama, LeBron James. It is now the best-selling card. It was a limited edition.
Sold more cards than Thad Bosley.
Who's Thad Bosley?
Played center field for the Chicago Cubs back in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
I knew it because I'd go to the games with my dad at Wrigley, and I was like, he's got the same name as me. He's the coolest player ever.
Pope Leo, as a White Sox fan and a Chicago guy, would have known that, right? Now, if you would have thrown like Harold Baines or Ron Karkovice, I would have gotten the reference.
Yeah, or Andre Dawson or Sandberg, all the big.
Yeah, names. Oh yeah. Sean Dunston. All right. So we've got our cards. They arrived yesterday from Topps, all right? And we're going to open them on camera. And if we can get one of these special limited editions. So we're going to jump. It's going to be crazy. Now, here's the thing, though. So Topps, because this card sold so well, they issued some special, what they call variants. Now, if you know anything about baseball cards, you know that, back in the day, you'd open up a pack of cards that'd be all commons, whatever. They're not really, junk wax cards. But now the game for collecting cards is trying to find these rare variants, these one-of-ones, the patch cards, the refractors, the foils, all these. So because this card sold so well, Topps issued some special limited editions within this run. So in total, 133,000 of these cards sold, which made it qualified for these chrome parallels. So I'll go through those real quick. So Topps issued 50 gold foil, 25 orange foil, 10 black foil, 5 red foil, and 1 foil fractor. They also issued a limited edition numbered 1 through 267, since Leo's the 267th Pope, of a white smoke variant. Now, if I get any of those,
smoke, man,
dude, the white smoke variant is going to be amazing. One of 267. So let's open up these packages here, Thad.
Hey, just real quick.
What's up?
Speaking of cards, anybody that's playing Topps Bunt 25, looking for a trade partner, hit me up, DC Ruskowski. I got all kinds of cards, and I'm looking to close some out.
Yeah, I got the same. Thad introduced me to that, and we've been trading cards on here for 5 years now.
Years now, yeah.
So here's what the package looks like.
I'm getting to it.
Okay. All right. Now, before we crack them open, Thad, I just want to talk a little bit about some of the cool history around Catholic collectibles, because there is a whole market around this. And Thad, we were just in Rome at the Vatican.
Would you say that we started it with relics?
I would say that that's a fair statement to make, that the very first Catholic collectibles were relics. So we had looked up earlier who the patron saint of collectibles were. And there isn't a patron saint of baseball cards per se, but we were able to find that there is a saint named Saint Eligius. Now, Saint Eligius was a silversmith and a goldsmith during the early Merovingian empire in Frankish. Yeah, during the Frankish lands, right? But the eldest daughter of the church, and he actually became a bishop after he was a goldsmith, and he worked for the king. But he would strike coins, and he was known for his ethics and his high quality of coin collecting. So, of coin minting. So he has become the patron saint of collectibles. I'd also say that probably Saint Helena, who went to the Holy Land and collected all the major relics, found the major holy sites, and the patron saint of archaeologists, I think she would apply here too. So let's say a prayer to Saint Eligius and Saint Helena that we get this cool card for the honor and glory of God, but also because it's a cool piece to add to the collection.
It should be super cool.
Now, Thad, I wanted to bring this up too. So when we were just at the Vatican, right, we were just in what was known as an interregnum, which is a period where there was no pope. And the Vatican, as a nation state, issues their own numismatic and philateletical. So they have
Easy
coins
for you to say.
And they have stamps, right?
Yeah.
Now, I wasn't able to get any of the coins because they weren't released, but for those of you who collect stamps, we were able to get the limited edition, and this only happens when there's not a pope, and there's only not a pope for about 20 days. Oh, you got them too. Yeah. The Vatican limited edition Sedevacante 2025 stamps, which is pretty cool.
It's amazing to me the number of people when you go to the Vatican that know to go to the post office,
100%,
buy a postcard, buy Vatican stamps, and mail it back home to friends and family. We sat there when we were there back last year.
Yeah.
30 minutes writing up postcards back to family and dropping them in. It was great.
Yeah. Now the Vatican also issues coins. So I got a set here. This is because the Vatican is really a nation, city state within Italy, they use the euro. Okay. Now back in the day, the Vatican did issue their own coins, which I have right here. This is one from the pontificate of of Pius XII, which is a pretty cool coin, 1956, Vatican 100 lira. But now they also issue euros, and the Vatican coins they're pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So if you know euros, they're the standard coin, just like we have it in the United States. So you can see that it's all the standard euro denominations. But what makes these really cool is on the back they have pontifical seals, pontifical markings. They'll issue limited edition coins for jubilee years, holy years, for particular saints. The coin collecting around the Vatican, if you're into coin collecting, or if you're not and you just want to have something cool, go to their website and check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's a really cool way, number one, to help participate in the economy of Vatican City State, the Holy See, as a political entity, because it's not an insignificant portion of how they generate revenue and income, basically being a tourist spot as a city state. But it's a lot of fun. So now,
and they just redid their website for selling the coins and stamps.
They did.
So that, and this is separate from the Vatican's website. There is a standard website, and they've just, the last I looked, and I should have checked here before we jumped on, but they're redoing it so that you can buy the coins and not have to be at the Vatican.
Yes. Now, you were always able to do that, but it was really kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a little bit difficult to navigate around that. So if you go to vaticanstate.va, you can find links to that, to where you can find the different coins. All right. Now, Thad, I've been waiting a couple weeks now for this. Okay. You want to crack into these and see if we can pull?
I think we should talk about those big words you were using more and more.
Oh, I'm just a simple baseball card collector at this point. I'm not a host of the Catholic Talk Show right now.
What's your favorite card you have?
Favorite card I have?
Not that one.
Yeah, well, honestly, I have two favorite cards, and they both play together. One is the Billy Ripken error card, right?
It's, for anybody around our age, that's the card.
That's it. That's the card. Now, for those of you who don't know, Billy Ripken was a younger brother of, the Iron Man, Cal Ripken Jr. He was not as talented as Cal Ripken Jr. He comes up a couple years later.
He will have issues with you on that one.
I'm sorry, Billy. It's the fact, right? I mean, I think even Cal Ripken Sr. would acknowledge that. But anyway, they pranked him. So he's holding his first baseball card, and they got a little baseball. He's got his baseball bat, and they wrote a swear word on the bottom of it. And no one at Topps that was actually a Fleer card. No one noticed it. It went out. It became a fun collectible. But my brother and I, so that's my first favorite card. And the one I have was a graded one, PSA graded, that my brother gave to me because, we're brothers. The Ripkins were brothers. It's a brotherly thing, right?
Sure.
So me and my brother went to Cleveland, at the time, Indians fantasy camp. And part of the package is that you get to have your own baseball card, right? Because you get the uniforms, you go and play with all the pros. So my brother you get your own baseball bat. It has your name emblazoned on it, and then you take a picture, right? And you use that for the card. Well, my brother Christian wrote the same thing on the bottom of the
Oh
Billy
my
Ripken bat,
gosh.
and he did the exact same pose. So we have, I would say, the Chris Shield variant of the Billy Ripken F-face card. So those are my two favorite cards.
That's solid, man. That's
And then I'll
solid.
give one more honorable mention. And this is the one that got me into collecting cards, because I think everybody who collects baseball cards has the card they remember getting that turned them onto it all. This would have been 1987. I was 6 years old. Me and my brother and a couple kids from the neighborhood walked up the street to Cook's Beverage, a little mom and pop corner deli, store. I had 35 cents. I walk in, I buy a pack of Topps baseball cards. Is like the wood panel ones, 1987 classic set.
Yeah.
And I pulled a Pete Rose, right? And Pete Rose had just broken the all-time hits record a couple years before.
Sure.
And, that's all, as a kid, you didn't really know a lot about the history of the game. But I got a Pete Rose, and he was big at the time. So I remember getting that 1987 Topps Pete Rose, and that will always be the most memorable card I ever pulled, because that was the one that got me really into it. Because on my first pack, I pulled what, to me at the time, was the biggest baseball name in the world. So what about you, Thad?
I had Ryan Sandberg from that same set that always stood out for me as a kid who lived outside of Chicago. And I'll tell you, my brother and I would hop on our bikes and we would ride from our house. I think it was 325 South 7th Street. We'd ride along. It's crazy. I haven't lived there in 40 years.
Yeah.
We'd ride along and we go to the 7-Eleven and buy a Slurpee and get the refractor coins in the bottom of the Slurpee cups.
I remember that.
Dude,
I remember those.
Awesome.
Those are cool.
You'd swap them out with your buddies. And we thought I thought they were the most high-tech things I had ever imagined. Little I know what I'd be doing with life. But it was awesome, man. We were looking at them. But the
remember Sports Flicks?
Say again?
Remember the Sports Flicks cards? The ones that were like the Holly. Those were cool.
Yeah. The okay. Well, should we get it? No.
Well,
what else do you collect?
What else do I collect? Well, I collect guitars. I collect books. I collect regret from bad life decisions.
Got a few of those. The beauty of confession.
Everybody has something they like to collect, and it's a lot of times people say it's a waste of money. It's not. It's something that you enjoy. And
what is it about collecting that makes one collect the things? What do you think? Because like a baseball card, right? Is it memories?
Makes you happy. It ties to memories. All the things that I collect, whether it's coins. I remember going through my grandpa's coin collection with him. Great memories that I now am able to do with my son. Guitars I collect because that was something that me and my father bonded over. So you collect that. Baseball cards is something I bonded with my brother and my friends over. So I think those collections really tie back to those innocent things in life that you're trying to continue to hold on to and cultivate in your life, the good parts of your life, and have those collections around you that you're always able to go back to that place when life was easier, simpler, and better, and enter into that for a minute. And, collections can get out of control, but I think it's worth every cent if that's the intent and the spirit of it.
Yeah, you don't want to be a hoarder.
No.
But this ties directly into the relics.
Sure.
Right? That we want those relics to aspire to the lives that those saints are. So as you look at them, right, there's a parallel there, right? And maybe in some cases a misdirected parallel of the baseball card, right? Individuals who want, I'm aspiring to be Juan Soto, or I'm aspiring to be Bryce Harper, or you can tell I live in Washington, D.C. and I'm a Nationals fan now, right? All these players that were on our team that are now helping out others. But the idea that we're going to aspire to these individuals to be like them, how amazing is it in those times where, when your kids have a picture of you that's sitting someplace and they talk about how memorable it is. For the last couple of years, I've been pulling Braden out of school on opening day and taking him to opening day. Ryan, I can't tell you the number of times on like a random Thursday, and we're sitting at dinner and he'll say, Dad, you remember when you took me out of school and we went to opening day? Can we do that again? Right? Like those.
And that's something he'll do with his kids one day.
Hopefully. Hopefully, right? And they gave us baseball cards. We got a Mackenzie Gore card at opening day, and he's got it sitting on his dresser. It's awesome, right? Can I share one thing that I've
absolutely.
That is, so I used to carry it with me everywhere I went, and it's this rosary.
Okay.
This rosary was given to me when I was in Liverpool and I was doing some missionary work. The buddy of mine was a priest studying in Rome, and he would, this was back when JP2 was still alive. JP2 would line up the seminarians and he'd walk through the center like he's walking through the guard.
Mm-hmm.
And he walked along and he would at times lean over and whisper in somebody's ear and walk on. Nobody ever knew what he was saying. It was always meant to be for that seminarian or that priest. Well, he went ahead and he leaned over to my buddy who was in the lineup at the time and said, "Hey, pray it every once in a while," and handed him this rosary. So JP2 gave this rosary to my buddy who, when I was in Rome and having a very, very, or not in Rome, in Liverpool, having a very, very difficult time, he looked at me and said, "You know what? You need this more than me right now. Pray it and keep it." I was floored. I was like, I can't hang on to this. And so to this day, well, up until recently, I carried it with me everywhere I went as a relic of JP2. Up until recently, we'll see what the verdict is with Leo, my favorite pope. One day I thought I lost it. And you can imagine the sweat that I had at that point. So I chucked an Apple AirTag in the case, so I was know where my rosary is.
That's smart.
Things to collect, man.
You talked about relics, and then we'll get into these cards because I can't wait anymore. I'm like a kid on Christmas morning.
I'm just telling these things to goat you along.
Right. But a lot of times people will say, why is there a relic of this event or that event? Who was thinking to collect the dinnerware from the Last Supper? Who was thinking to collect this bone or these ashes? Or who was thinking to collect this veil or whatever, right? But you've traveled with me everywhere we go. I'm like, I need to get a rock from here. I need to get a little piece from here, right? Everywhere I've went, yeah. If I go to, I went to Guadalupe and climbed up Tepeyac Hill, and I saw some roses there, and I have my little Fusati travel book, just full of all different relics and things that I've pulled from all the travels, right?
Right.
I grabbed a rose from there, kept it. I go to Lourdes, and I take some of the rocks from the grotto from the spot where Mary appeared. And I was able to give it to my mother and my uncle who are sick, and to family and friends, my brother when he got a new house, to put in the foundation. Everywhere I've had that impulse to say, I want to bring part of this home with me, because as a pilgrim, I want to have something that physically and as an incarnational person ties me back to this place that I ventured to as a pilgrim. So
this experience,
I think is a very human instinct to say, I want to bring this home with me, whether it's sand, water, whether it's a postcard, whether it's it's not a spoon or whatever, or a shirt that says I went to Myrtle Beach and all I got was the shirt. You want to bring something home with you, right?
Right. Well, and it's not just about the thing, right? I think what you touched on there is bringing that experience back to those that we love.
Yep.
As you were telling that, right, I picked up this rock to show you. One of the mistakes I made was in collecting all the rocks was not labeling them to know where they're from. Yeah. So this one you probably can't see on camera, but that's Vatican City from when you and I were there.
Yep.
And it sits on my desk. I went with Delacrosse to Dubai years ago, and had the opportunity with Umar, our lead developer, to go out into the desert and do dune busting in a Nissan Armada with a bunch of guys. Crazy story for another time. Absolutely awesome. But I brought back a bag of sand from the desert in Dubai. And when I got home, I pulled it out of my luggage, and my family looked at me like, what is that? And I wanted to show my kids, this is what the sand looks like in Dubai.
Yeah.
Because, who knows over there? I never thought I'd go. But here
Right.
we were, right? And it was an amazing experience. It was bringing that experience back so that they can do, and you can have the conversation. It at a very simple level, it's like show and tell in elementary school, man.
That's it.
Bring in
And
the thing, show me what you got. So why do we have these cards? I'll tell you why I have this card. Because when you and I were doing that broadcast to talk about the announcement, that was so cool. I kept saying so cool, and I needed to apologize about
so
that.
Cool, bro.
I kept
it's
saying
so cool.
I thought, wow, I am made for this experience right now. And then I made a mistake, and this is where I have to come clean. I said on the broadcast that my wife was not good at video games.
Oh.
I got in a lot of trouble for it from her. I'm not wrong, but I'm going to tell you right now, she's okay at monkey ball. She can play monkey ball. She was one might say she was good at Super Monkey Ball. There you go.
Well, I hope Linda beats you in every game you ever play from here going forward. But Thad, as a veteran of this, be very careful about mentioning friends and loved ones in podcasts, because it can come out unintended and they come back and they'll hold your feet to the fire. So be careful about.
I made that mistake very early on, but you know what? I have a very good track record of stepping in it repeatedly. So,
Yep.
we'll just go with it.
All right.
I know you cheated.
All right. I didn't cheat. These are not open.
You have two?
No, I just have one.
Oh, you changed hands.
Yeah. Look at that.
There it is.
All right. So let's open the limited edition Topps Pope Leo XIV card and see if we can pull one of these limited edition cards, whether it's the foil or the 1 of 267 or the white smoke variant. So,
all right. So how many did you buy?
I got a 5-pack.
I got a 5-pack as well.
All right.
So
how do we want to do this? Okay. How do we want to do this? Do we want to go?
Well, I don't know what they look like once you open it up.
Okay. Let's open it. See what happens.
You go ahead, and then I will.
Oh, I ripped the box. Now it's worth less.
All right. So you got the packaging.
It comes. Okay. It
comes in a box. Wait,
with foam.
You see them?
You can't see them.
All right. So I'm going to open mine. I didn't rip the packaging. All right. Foam. I'm looking at the side.
Okay.
Can you tell anything looking at the side?
I cannot. Nothing yet.
Mine look the same. I think I got 5 standards.
Okay, let's just see. Let's open it up. All right, so I'm going to pull out the top one.
Top one standard. Okay.
I got a standard, but this is what the Topps Now limited edition Pope Leo XIV card looks like. This is awesome. There you go. All right.
I think
so I've
seen videos. I was doing research for this. They
on card rips
them and they look like okay, that looks like a normal.
You got the standard. Okay, you got the common. Okay, ready?
All right, go ahead.
Another common.
All right. And common.
All right. Another common.
Oh, buddy. I got another common.
All right. Okay, right.
I think I'm going standard all the way through. Go ahead.
Okay, here we go. Here's card number 4 for me. Another standard. Another standard. Common.
All right, so 5. This is my last option. Oh my gosh, it's a standard.
All right, so this is my last. Let's see. All standards. Still, these are super cool.
These are awesome. And you know what? Next time we go to the Vatican, we're going to have to get one autographed.
Honestly, I'd rather have that than the limited edition. Okay, I'm bringing this to get it autographed. Now, for anyone who watched this with us, go ahead. You have to like this video and you have to leave a comment. And we're going to go through and randomly pick one of the people who comment on this video. And I'm going to send you one of my 5 cards here, so you could have one too, because they are sold out. You can't get them anymore. So if you go ahead and click the like, you have to like and subscribe to this channel, and you have to leave a comment below in this video. and then I'll go through randomly and I'll pick a winner, and I'm going to send you one of my Pope Leo the 14th commemorative cards. Let's see what the back says. So
yeah, everybody on social media yesterday was trying to.
Oh, this is kind of cool though. It's got
the
some like
tops,
the holographic.
hologram.
Okay, so I'm going to read the back of this. So on the front it says Pope Leo the 14th, Habemus Papam, Leo the 14th, named first American Pope, 5/8/25. So on the back it says Pope Leo the 14th, and here's his stats: nationality American, born Chicago, Illinois, 9/14/1955. Here's what it says. An American has been named Pope for the first time in the 2,000-year history of the Catholic Church. White smoke came billowing out of the Sistine Chapel's chimney on the second day of the 2025 Papal Conclave, delighting the crowd gathered in St. Peter's Square. A short time later, Cardinal Robert Prevost of Chicago was named the new Pope. Prevost, 69, took the name Leo the 14th. All right. So, Thad, that was fun. Now, we didn't get one of the limited editions ones, which I've already seen a couple people have pulled.
Right. I saw one of them sold for almost $1,000.
Yeah. Thad, when in looking at this episode, I did some research. There was an order of sisters, Sisters of Notre Dame in Maryland.
Yep.
And then they needed to raise some funds. Well, one of the sisters, her brother had given her a baseball card, and it was the T109 Honus Wagner, which is the Mount Everest of baseball cards, right?
Yeah.
That is the Holy Grail, the 59 Les Paul. That is the card for collectors. And they were
Les Paul. It is through and through for you.
It is. And they were able to sell it for $222,000, which was a massive source of income. So, look, baseball cards can do some pretty good things and cool things here for Catholic institutions. So, again, click like, click subscribe, leave a comment below, and we'll send you one of these Pope Leo the 14th cards, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This was a lot of fun. Pray for Pope Leo, and thanks for watching.